let's start streaming.
Okay. First, I have to share the screen.
And I have to let you.
Exactly.
1 second.
There we are.
1 second. There you go. Amazing. Good.
Thank you. First screen. There we are. Well, Georgios, your work was the best one. I mean, it was really, really good. I'm looking for it now, Georgios. Well, we can see it in detail. I wrote some indications here with red. I wrote them with red because it is like it's the color that most stands out. That's why. But they are not. I mean, big mistakes. Everything is good. The first thing that I know it is kind of a silly mistake, but it is important, is the tempo. You did a really great job because you marked everything, the dynamics, the hairpins, the divises, the unisons. I mean, it is very great. But please don't forget the indication of the tempo mark, because imagine that you give this score to a I don't know, to a string orchestra, and they have to play this. They can't start to play because they don't know the tempo. So that little things are important. Well, now talking about orchestration, it's really good. You decided to put the main melody, the one that was in the piano piece, in the right hand, this one. You decided to put it in the first violin. That is very great because if you see the...
Sorry to interrupt. I cannot see anything. Is this me or?
I can see.
You cannot?
I can, personally.
I can see.
Can you see the score?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I selected the option share the screen, and so I think I'm sharing it.
One thing.
If you want, I can do it again. I can stop sharing.
Yeah, okay, let me see, wait. Fit to window, 100%. Because I cannot see anything. Original site, 200%. Yeah, can you do it one more time? Because, oh, there you go. Yes, no, nothing. There you go. Okay, all good, all fine, you're fantastic.
Okay.
False alarm. Let me see if I can. Web view options, ratio. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Sorry, it was me.
Okay, no problem.
Bad. Okay, keep going. Thank you.
So here, Georgios decided to put the main melody in the first violin, because if we look at the compass, the ambitus of the melody goes from E4, that is the first anacrusis, that is the lowest note, to E5. So it is an ambitus of 1 octave, and it is in a perfect register to be played by the first violin. And another great thing is that he didn't use divisi in the first violin, because he wants all the players of the section, the 16 players, to be playing that melody. So that melody can stand out very clearly. Then the accompaniment, that is the background, it is not, I mean, it is an important part that it doesn't have to sound very loud. He used the VC in the second violins and in the cellos. So there he's divided the accompaniment. I mean, in the second violin part, there will be, let's suppose that in the second violin section, we have 14 players. We would have 7 of them playing the top part. That one, and the other 7 players of the second violin section playing the lower part. That one. So it is a very great decision what he did. Then the doubling of the melody, he put it in the viola, what is also a great decision because that register of the viola is good to play that melody. See that almost all the notes are written in the, like inside the staff. In general, when you write for any instrument and you write using the 5 lines and spaces of the staff, it means that you are writing in a good register, in a comfortable register to play. And if we see here, almost all the instruments are written using the lines and the spaces of the staff. He is not using lecture lines. Well, in the second violin, he is using a couple of lecture lines, but it is okay because it is the lowest note he is writing is A3, and that note can perfectly be played in the second violin. And then the cello, well, he did a divisi, and it is a perfect register, that one, to be played in the cello. Here, what I marked with red that says rhythm is because you didn't write the rhythm correctly there. It is just a little mistake. Maybe you got confused because of the silences, the rest, the 8 rest. That one, the one I marked with red, should be an upbeat. Only that. Then this is for Laura and for Iris. See that he marked all the articulations very clearly, like very detailed markings. Also, he wrote the bowings that are very, very good. He's starting the anacrusis of the melody with an up bow, and then he begins the downbeat with a down bow. Then these notes in the melody, the first, well, the second, third, and fourth note of the melody, he chose a down bow, and then we understand that the next, this note, the fourth note of the first measure, he uses an up bow again, and he starts the next measure. In the second measure, he starts with a down bow. So the articulations and bowings are very nice. Well, these 4 measures we know that are a repetition. One thing I suggest that you do when you do this kind of works, this kind of orchestration, try, if you can, to copy like the visual structure of the piano score to the orchestration you are doing. For example, if we see the piano score, I think I have it here. This is the piano part. We have the first idea, musical idea, written in the first 4 measures, and they are all in the same line. So we see perfectly that the first musical idea has 4 measures, and we end in a half cadence. Now, if I go again to the orchestration of Georgios, here we have 3 measures, and the half cadence is in the next line. That is a little bit uncomfortable to read. So if you can keep the visual structure of the piano piece, is better. It will help you. It will help you that you are orchestrating, and it will help the people that is reading your score also. Well, here you decided in the double bass to write that note. You added that note. I think that is not the best option, because here you are playing the same note, so it is sounding the same note in the double bass and in the cello part. So this E is sounding in the double bass and in the cello, but in the cello you are playing several times that pitch, and in the double bass you are holding it. So it's like contradictory to have 2 different articulations with the same pitch. I think that here would be better.
A way to have a pedal on the E.
A pedal?
That's how I thought it would imitate the pedal.
I mean, here you are trying to simulate the piano pedal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, but in the score there is no pedal there. There is no pedal marking.
There's a cadence.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is great, the decision of choosing a double bass there, because there is a cadence, and it is, well, a half cadence, and it is an important part, and you can emphasize it if you want. I mean, the most common solution to this part, what Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven, or Schubert could have done here probably, is to write what I wrote in red with red. Is the most common use of the double basses is to double the part of the cello. That would be the most common, I mean, solution. It is not necessarily bad what you did, but I think that you're using the 2 like contrary articulations. You are playing several times in the cello the same note, but you are holding that same note in the double basses. Well, what I could have done here, and if we study orchestral works and we study Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven, we see that most of the times they, with the double basses, they don't write a real independent line, but they double the cello part. Well, another thing here is that you wrote divisi again. I think that this happened because you wrote the first 4 measures. Yeah, tell me.
Copy paste.
Yeah, copy paste. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it is not bad to write divisi again, but it is not necessary. Now, if you had written here at the beginning the tempo, and you copy and paste here, you would have pasted the tempo again. So when you do, it is okay to copy and to paste, but you have to pay attention to those details because you don't have the tempo to be marked every time you copy and you paste. And the same with divisi, but I repeat, this is not bad. It is just not necessary. Well, here again, you copied and pasted, so the rhythm, the problem with the rhythm there is repeated. What else? Well, here the same thing with the cellos and the double basses. I think that is not the best option there. Maybe you could there double the cello, and would be a more practical solution. Also, you are changing the inversion of the chord there, because here you have a E major chord, then again E major chord, and in the real piece, there you have a A minor in root position, and when you write that E in the double basses, you are changing the inversion of the A minor chord. It is a subtle difference, but it is not the same as it is not the same to hear the A minor chord in root position or in double inversion. Well, what I really liked about your orchestration is how you solve this part. I think it's really great. We have this section. And here you decided to write the melody again in the first violin. So you understood that there we have the melody again, and you put it in the first violin. And here in the second violin, you wrote divisi, but you want the let's say the upper part of the divisi to play a double stop, right?
Yes.
Yes, a very great decision, because that is a very easy double stop to play, because you have one open string and the other one you play it with your index finger, the B. So it is a very easy double stop and a very clever solution to this passage. Well, here you are using the double bass to simulate the effect of the sustaining pedal, and that is great. I mean, you are simulating the effect of the pedal and making a little bit of contrast, because you are adding a new voice that sounds one octave lower. So it is great. Well, here it is everything all right. I have nothing to say. Let me see what else. Here it is a repetition. Also, the articulations are really good, because I didn't mention that. Here in the new section that says you wrote that portato articulation, and it is great because each of those notes you have to play them with a different direction of the bow, and it works perfectly.
How to change the slurs to make the bow work sometimes.
Yes, and that is a great solution too, because you don't have to copy when you take a piece for the piano and orchestrate it to the strings. You don't have to copy the slurs, because what it works in the piano, it probably doesn't work in the string instruments. So it is really good what you did. You instead of translating each element, you translated the meaning of the music. That is what we have to do when we orchestrate. It's like when we are like translating, let's say, from one language to another, that we don't translate word by word, but we get the meaning of the whole phrase, and then we translate the meaning. So he understood, the piece, and once he understood it, he translated that meaning, that musical idea, to the string orchestra. Well, and here at the end, you forgot to write one slur. Yeah. That one that I wrote with red, but it is just a little mistake, because that is a dotted quarter note.
Yeah, I don't know, probably something like copy paste, some mistake.
Yes, but it is just a very little mistake. And here there is something that I didn't understand what you wanted to do. In the piano score, the bass goes like this. So it is a descending line. I don't know why you wrote it like an ascending line.
I don't know. I was thinking about it. What should I do? If it would make sense to finish so low the A, and I thought maybe not. But then I thought, what if I could put the dominant an octave lower? But it's not like that on the piece. But it couldn't be like that on the piece because we don't have that long fingers. So maybe who is it? Schubert wouldn't mind. Maybe he would like it to be a low E, as it's usually tan. And I thought, okay, I'll do it. Why not? I know I could put the lower A, but I haven't put a low A during the piece at all. So I thought it would be a bit too odd to put suddenly one there. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, well, here in these kind of situations, that I mean, you made it on purpose. That is important because you took a decision there. But in these kind of cases, I would follow the voice leading. The C sharp is going to A. The C sharp resolves to A. And well, in the original score, the E goes clearly to a low A. So once you have this part, now the only thing you do, you double the cello. You double the cello part with the double basses. So it is. Let me think. But well, there in that case, I would follow what Schumann wrote, that it was a descending line. That's it. But that's it. It is just a detail. But it is important to understand that the most common use of the double bass is to double the part of the cello, and usually, at least in this course, we are not going to write very original independent lines for the double bass. because the most famous composers, at least in the classical period and in the early romantic period, used to double the cello with the double basses. That was the most common function. Well, and there you forgot, here you wrote unis in the one, I mean, well, here I'm going to write it. You wrote unis, and then you have to write divisi. If you want divisi, maybe it was a double stop.
The way I wrote it, I didn't need the divisi. You know?
Sorry?
The way I wrote it, I don't need to do divisi.
So there you want a double stop?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my bad. If you want a double stop, I thought that you wanted a divisi and you forgot to write it.
If I had put the next chord the way you did with the low A as well, yes, I would have divided from that one, but I didn't need just for one.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it depends. Yes, I suggested to write a low A, so there you have to write divisi. But I mean, if I follow how you thought that last measure, you are correct. You can play the E and the C sharp with a double stop, and you don't have to write divisi. There was my mistake because I assumed that you forgot to write it. In those cases, when you want to make sure that you're not forgetting to write divisi, you can write non-divisi. So non-divisi is an indication that the orchestrator is telling the performers, here I didn't forget to write divisi, but I want them to play multiple stops. But well, the orchestration in general is perfect. Very, very good. Now let's go to the one of Laura. Sorry. Here we are. Well, here I made a couple of corrections. First of all, you forgot to write the tempo mark. Then all the measures are like, all the numbers of the measures are different, because the anacrusis, you wrote it like if it was measure 1, but that is not a measure. That's why I marked all the rest in the first measure. When you have an anacrusis, the piece starts with an anacrusis. That is not a measure, and we say that the first measure would be that one, this one.
Yeah, that's just because I wasn't quite sure how to do it on MuseScore, so I just kind of had to find a different way on how to do it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I understand that it is a problem with the program, but that is kind of important because it changes all the measures. See that here, I was a little bit confused and I have to write all the measures because they were moved. For the performers, that is a little bit like confusing to have to be calculating all the time the measures. But okay, I mean, it's just a matter of the program. Well, then this orchestration is good. We have to see a couple of passages in more detail, but first of all, the dynamics are an important part of the music, and well, so we have to write them. I mean, you're studying to become more professional musicians, and you have to imagine that this will be played by real performers. And when you do that, you have to write the measures correctly, the dynamics, the hairpins, and all that stuff, the tempo. But well, the orchestration itself is great. You decided to put the melody in the first violin, which is great. The second violins in divisi, but you didn't write divisi. So if I see the score and I am a performer, let's suppose I am a violinist, and I have to play the part of the second violin, I would play multiple stops because you didn't write anything there.
Okay.
So that is not a detail to write divisi because it changes the performance. But well, the idea is great to put divisi in the second violin. Then you double the melody with the viola, which is great also, and divisi in the cellos. Well, the orchestration is very good. Here the same. Please, if you can follow the visual like structure of the piano piece and translate that visual structure to the orchestration. It will help you, and it will help me and all the people that will play your piece. Sometimes we cannot do it because we need more space to write. To write all the things that are in the part of the piano. But I orchestrated this piece a couple of years ago and see that it is possible to write the first 4 measures in the first line. There I have the anacrusis, and then measure 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the 4th, well, we have the end of the musical idea, a half cadence. Now let's go here again. Well, here I don't know what happened, but you added one more measure.
Yeah, sorry, this is the same thing because it needed an upbeat. I was really confused on how to put it all in. So I just kind of had to use a big break.
Yes, okay, but there, these quarter notes you wrote are the same that you wrote then in the next measure. So yes, there is one measure there that we can delete it, but it's okay. I mean, are things that are related to the program and not to your musical skills. So I understand them. Well, then again, the dynamics, that passage starts with forte, and then with sforzando. The orchestration is good, but you added the double basses in a couple of notes, but here we have a problem. Why? Because we have a C sharp in the double bass. No, sorry, we are here, and an A in the cello. So there is a dissonance there that shouldn't be. Is it clear?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
The better solution there, I think, that is the one that Georgios made, that he only decided to add this note. Because if we see the score, it said the pedal indication was up to here. And so I would do the same thing that did Georgios. I would take out this note and this one also.
Yeah.
and there we won't have the problem of that dissonance, the C sharp against A.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, here this is an important problem. What happened with the melody? You split it up in a lot of different instruments.
I got a bit confused where the melody was, to be honest.
Because the melody there is this one. And you wrote the first anacrusis in the lowest part of the second violin. The next note in the upper part of the second violin. The next note in the first violin, and the other note in the second violin again.
Yeah.
There, the best solution is what Georgios did, that he took all that notes and put it in the first violin. I'll show you again what Georgios did, so we can compare. Oh, I'm sorry. What is that part? I forgot where we were. Here. See that here he's playing this line with the first violin?
Yeah.
He jumps one octave down and begins with the melody. Now let's see your work again. Yes, that part is a really strange how you orchestrated it. But well, that's why first we have to analyze the piece. We have to see where is the foreground, I mean the melody, where is the background, understand like the meaning of the piece, and then see how we can orchestrate that different parts. But well, apart from that, the rest of the orchestration is really good.
Thanks.
Well, there you had a problem with the rhythm. The one that I marked with red, it is an upbeat, not a downbeat.
Okay.
The melody with the accompaniment goes.
Okay.
But well, it is just something that, I mean, it is a little mistake. Another thing, if I were you, I would pay more attention to writing, because there are some things that I am sure that are not problem of your musical skills, but are writing problems. And that confuses a lot how you write the rest. Always when we write the rest, we have to like to notice where are the downbeats, and you are like hiding the downbeats with your way of writing them. Here, for example, if I had to read that measure, it is very difficult to read it.
Okay.
It would be better to write an 8 rest, then a quarter note rest, and then an 8 rest again. Would be much clearer.
Okay.
Well, these are things about writing, but I mean that this will like be, I don't know how to say it. The performers will be more comfortable reading a part that is well written. Well, here you have a perfect authentic cadence. So I recommend that you add the double bass. You could double the cello part with the double basses. It is just an option. It is not necessary to do that.
Okay.
And there, I don't know what happened, because the first time that you wrote that passage, let me see, because I forgot what you did. The first time you wrote a lot of notes in the double bass, and the second time you didn't write anything. Is that a mistake, or is that on purpose?
I think it was on purpose. I don't know. Double bass. No, I think I just left it for that one part.
So there you didn't want the double bass. Well, actually, I think there it would be better to follow one criteria. I mean, if there is a repetition and we did something the first time, then in the repetition, we repeat what we did before.
Yeah.
In this case, if the first time you added this part to the double basses, well, one octave lower. The second time,
powerful, just once.
Well, that part is forte. So if we have to orchestrate a part that is forte, we don't want to delete voices. I mean, the other way around, we want to add voices if we want to orchestrate the forte. But in general, when we orchestrate, we don't decide to delete voices of the real piece, because we are like changing the meaning of the piece if we delete voices. What it can happen is if we have a forte in a piano piece and we want to orchestrate the meaning of the forte, we can add a lot of instruments, like to make an orchestral tutti, where all the instruments are playing. There you would double a lot of voices to create a big orchestral fortissimo. So we usually add voices, but we don't delete them. Well, here the same with the double bass. You confuse the transposition. That should be written one octave higher. Well, there I think that I understand what you try to do. You wrote the melody in the viola, and then you wanted to dovetail the part of the viola and to continue the melody with the second violin.
Yes.
Yes, that was your idea. Well, but you confused the register of the different instruments, because I mean the viola is doing this. Oh, sorry. And there you jumped to another register. What I'm trying to say is that this note, this E, is not the same E as this one. They are in different registers. So it doesn't work there because if you want to dovetail different parts, you have to do it with exactly the same pitch, not pitch classes that are not in the same register. I mean, this one, the one that you wrote in the viola, is E3, and the one that you wrote in the second violin part is E4.
Yes.
Then what else? Well, here this is just a little mistake, but it is a little strange. It would be better to write a quarter rest there. It is more like visually. I don't know how to say it. It's more comfortable, more easier to read a quarter note instead of a lot of eight rest. There you used for the first time a divisi in the whole piece, but you forgot to write divisi. So now I ask you, your intention there was to use a divisi and you forgot to write it, or your intention was to put so you wanted the players to play a double stop?
So at first I thought the divisi, but then I realized it can be played without divisi. So no need to put divisi, no?
Well, there is an important difference between double stop and divisi. That with double stop, all the players in the section are playing 2 notes simultaneously. So each of the players is playing 2 notes. And in divisi, you are dividing the players. So let's say that in the first violin section, we have 16 players. With a double stop, you will have 16 E's sounding and 16 D sounding. And with divisi, you will have 8 E and 8 D's. And here, what you wrote is that line that you wrote in the first violin is the background, the accompaniment. And so we don't want the accompaniment to be played with double stops because it will sound loud. Okay. And the accompaniment, remember that is the background. We don't want the background to be very noticeable. And well, at the end, well, this is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you deleted again 1 voice because the original piano part had 6 different voices. And here again, you just copied and pasted. So the problem with the register between the viola and the second violin, here we have it again. Be careful when you write for the viola that sometimes we get confused because we only think about the pitch class. As you did here, you said, well, I imagine that you say, well, this note is an E and this is an E also. So I can like dovetail the melody. But they are different E's. The viola is the one in the viola is E3 and the other one E4. So be careful with that, as well as with the transposition of the double bass. Finally, what I liked about your orchestration is here how you use the double bass. You use the double bass to double the part of the cello. And so you made an emphasis in the cadence. That was great.
Okay. It's very, but I have to leave because I'm having a lesson now. Waiting.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.